We're about a quarter mile in the little west end of the main county, Park County side on State Route 14, which is also known as the Evergreen Highway. This is where the motorist pulled over to urinate.
He walked across the guardrail, walked over to the bank where it's a more wooded area where he did a little traffic.
So looking just down over the bank, about 20 feet down, there's a little white maple broadleaf tree that comes up right there. Her body was found just next to that, and a little bit of that.
The recovery of the body was located over the bank. As we approached the scene where she was located, the first thing I was struck by was that she wasn't physically. There was no purse, there was no jacket, there was no anything nearby that could possibly give us identity to who this person was. There appeared to be some adhesive on her cheeks and over her mouth that appeared consistent with maybe the adhesive from that area. I noticed that there's a darker coloration on her shoulders and neck area. It could have been consistent with strangulation.
It's tiny veins all over him. Another woman found dead with no ID. A naked body found in the Columbia River gorge. Death by strangulation. And another phone call to police. Kentucky.
I guess I wasn't there, and I received a telephone message from reporting on my detective. I was very satisfied.
School buffs.
The like button on your way in, bitch. What's the title of this bitch? It's called Hey Man, DNA Game Man Podcast. It's Hit Piece, Episode 8. The line is drawn. Now, game on. Week 14, 2031 regular season. We on our way to the big times. You know what I'm talking about? Got a lot to talk about today in such a short time. Some big time games going to be played as well. We start off with the game of the Big Ten right now. We got to get to it right away. Now, what's on the line in this game of the Big Ten? It's a lot of award racing going on. It's some big time players from both teams in this ball game, Coach Hitter. I'm talking about Penn State got a really good quarterback, really good running back tandem. Oregon and LaMichael James' son, Mason James, has been going bonkers all season, and he turned it up over the last few games where the man is rushing for somewhere near 300 yards a pop right now. He's on a mission to win the running back award. Not only just that, he's looking to try to get a Heisman after being the first year of him being a starting running back for the Oregon Ducks, although he's been in the program for 3 seasons already as a junior, might even before. I don't know if he's a true junior or a redshirt junior, but big time matchup. 7 o'clock in Penn State. Now, Hitter, you know, you've been in that stadium before. What is the Oregon Ducks going to face playing Penn State at University Park? Night game, all whiteout game. What type of crowd are they going to have to deal with? If you know what I know, I try to pull my boy. Yeah, he straight went mute on me. He said, "Fuck that! I'm watching the basketball game out here. This shit. Oh my god!" But anyway, the Penn State Nittany Lions at home in an all whiteout game. Oregon on the road, number 4 versus number 10. There's only one game, regular season game, in between these two of having the same record right now, right? 4 versus 10. This is how big the game is, though. Both of them are undefeated in conference play right now. Ohio State's the only other undefeated team over there, right? They taking on Michigan in the horseshoe for the rival game. But the Oregon game is going to be consisted of Coach Falk over there, taking on Penn State and this Nittany Lion football team. And we're going to get to some numbers before we break down the rest of this game. But yeah, this game is going to tell us who's going to the Big Ten championship game to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. So not only did this game got playoff implications on it, it also got seeding and for ready Penn State wins this game, they go to the Big Ten championship, and then they got to face Ohio State to be able to get a first round bye. It's that simple. Meanwhile, if Oregon win it, they're looking to do the same thing, face Ohio State in the Big Ten championship and first round bye if they can win their next two football games. Big time matchup. Not only just is this game a matchup for the teams, right? That's the first and most important thing of it. Both these coaches are playing for something very important. But then you got individual stats and things like that when it comes down to both these teams, particularly Oregon, right? They have a quarterback in the race for best quarterback in the country this year. They also have a running back that's leading the race in the running back room. And before we go any further with the schedules and things that's going on in the game, let's go down here to the awards race. Right now, Player of the Year award, Mason James is sitting at number 2 on this list, right? As a true junior, sitting at number 2 on the list. When it comes down to best running back, Mason James sitting at number 1. Look who's sitting at number 3. Teller Durant, Penn State. For them to be playing Big Ten type of football, they both got small backs. 5'9", 199, 200 pounds, Teller Durant. And then you got little Michael James, 5'10", 195. So both these guys are playing for not only the best running back in the country, they're also playing to further their team's playoff aspirations. So big time matchup. When you look at the wide receiver room, Penn State sitting right in the mix. Chad Lowell, one of the best receivers in the country right now. So the matchup is going to be clean. You got Deion Thomas for Oregon. His weapons on this field, man, is going to come down to who's going to stop the weapons of each team, right? Let's go to that Penn State football team. All right, let's start off with the Nittany Lions. Tim Whittington, quarterback, redshirt junior, 5,716 passing yards on the year, 62 touchdowns, 13 INTs, 68 completion percentage. The man averaging 520 yards a game. Balling right now. And the weapons that he's dealing with, you're looking at running back, Teller Durant, 1,228 yards. He's a 1,000-yard back on 175 carries. They also have a power back in Brian Barnes, 45 carries in the year with 449. He's a double-digit scorer, too. So they got 32 touchdowns within their run game by itself. Let's get to that wide receiver room and the production coming out of that wide receiver room, where you have Chad Lowell over 2,000 yards, 76 catches on the year. But he's not the only weapon that this Oregon Ducks team want to deal with. Definitely not the only weapon they're going to have to deal with. So you're looking at Lowell, right? 26 touchdowns on the year. But they also have Zay Madu. Madu is a 1,000-yard receiver, 1,281. He got 12 touchdowns on the year. Then you still got Darren Broomwell, the senior, deep threat. He has 1,072, 11 touchdowns. And not for nothing, you got to still deal with Colin Hawtinlane, route runner from out of Middle Village, New York, junior, 5'11", route runner who has 832 yards and 11 touchdowns as well. Their running back does a good job out the backfield. Their tight end is there when they need him. That's 5 weapons you got stopped in the passing game, right? 3, 4 receivers and a running back, 6 weapons I would say you got to worry about, right? I really got to worry about them. When you go to the Oregon Ducks, right, and let's go to their defense and see how it's going to line up when it comes down to cornerback play, safety play, right? I'm assuming, and not because of the stats, not because he's leading the team with 8 picks, but Miles Aloite is going to be covering Lowell if when they do go man. I don't think Oregon Ducks will line up and really play this team man to man. I think they're going to do a lot of zone and disguise and coverages, but they do have Reggie Hickson, the senior, that's back. I would think that he'll probably line up the most snaps over Penn State's receiver. But they do got guys that can cover, right? They got 3 really solid corners, right? They're going to need 4 and some good safety play over the top. And when it comes down to safety, Ryan Gore, who's actually playing for the first time this year as a starter, pretty solid, right? 80 tackles on the year, 5 tackles for loss, 3 INTs at the safety position. Sneed as well. So that secondary is going to have to show up and show out, right? I think that's going to be the tell-all to this football game. The Ducks versus Penn State is going to come down to play calling and scheming and who going to make the plays. It's just that simple, right? Like, who really out there to make the plays? Now, when you come down to Oregon's offense, we know what their quarterback would do. He has
Unbeat Penn
53,
State ass.
99, right? 81 touchdowns on the season, 10 interceptions, 80%. He averaging 491 yards a game. McClellan is a national championship quarterback that's coming back to try to do it again. You see what
The
his trophy
drive for
case look
5.
like? That's good. Drive for 5 is what they've been calling. They were driving for 4 last year. They completed that, accomplished that. They're looking at 5 straight right now, and McClellan is going to be this game. He said, listen, we make it there this year, I want to be the reason why we win the ball game. I worked all summer long to become a quarterback that win games for my team, and not a quarterback that just don't lose games for my team. But listen, man, there's no back in college football with more carries than Mason James. But when you look at the carry versus average right now, this man is on his way to 3,000 yards. Could he do it before the ACC championship game? Right, this is the game. It's either you playing this game and then playing a championship game and then waiting for the playoffs, or you're playing this game and you're not playing another game until the playoffs, right? 27-52, 35 rushing touchdowns, average of 250 yards a game. He has not, out of 294 carries, Mason James at 5'10", 195 hasn't fumbled the ball one time this season. Not only is he durable, he's reliable, right? And if that run game gets kicked up the way it's been kicked up all season, this team has an absolute opportunity for the drive for 5. Not only that, you're going to have to deal with Deion Thomas and Everett Trask, right? Their redshirt sophomore is a monster at 6'4", 195, because he's not only a guy that, with speed and run behind you and all that, he run the route tree very well, along with Everett Trask as well. Their tight end is big time, 17 touchdowns there. How about Zion Robinson in the slot, 11 touchdowns right now, and then you still got Mason James, LaMichael's son, coming out the backfield with 12 receiving touchdowns. So they got weapons everywhere, right? So I do think this game gonna come down to how good the Oregon Ducks defense play against this Penn State offense, and then vice versa. Can the Penn State Nittany Lions get these Oregon Ducks off the field, right? Because to beat them, you're gonna have to force them into turnovers, and you have to force them into being perfect, right? Can they put 12 play drives together every possession? I think they can when you look at the run game, but I think Penn State's going to do a hell of a job trying to challenge that. The other part to it is how big is that crowd going to be in Penn State when they play this ball game, right? And you got to deal with 100 plus in the all whiteout, non-stop going crazy. Like, this game is a big football game when it comes down to it. So the Big Ten, everything is on the line for 2 football teams, Oregon and Penn State, right? North Carolina taking on ranked 15 Pittsburgh. They're Tulane and Notre Dame, the winner out of that game. If Tulane beats Notre Dame, North Carolina will be playing in the ACC championship, and the rematch with their rival right now will be North Carolina versus Miami. When you think about the Big 12 right now, Tennessee got to take on Vanderbilt. They win, they in. TCU doing the same thing. They beat West Virginia, and they got to pray for the college guys to figure something out there. But I think if Penn State win their in, if Tennessee win their in, and then they're going to play Colorado in the Big 12 championship, right? But it's coming down to TCU and Tennessee figuring out. So Tennessee got to take on their rivals, and then TCU got West Virginia. Michigan will be traveling to the Horseshoe to take on Ohio State in that big-time rival game. Ohio State win, and they're still sitting comfortable to better play in that Big Ten championship game. And like I said, you're looking at Oregon and Penn State is the game of the week for sure. SEC play, everybody is going to escape having to really lock in and play a user. So you got Alabama and Mississippi State, Georgia at Georgia Tech. Again, you got Texas A&M taking on number 2 ranked Texas, and LSU taking on Oklahoma. All these games are important. If the users go out there and handle business, then everything will line up, and we'll show you what that lineup looks like in a second. Let's get to the college football bracket. Matter of fact, let's go awards first. Knock that out real fast. And we're looking at, again, Taven Troop, Mason James, Jake Creel, Kevin Peli, C.J. Sadler Jr., Deion Dawsey are your top 6 when they're coming out of player of the year. Head coach of the year, you're looking at Miami's, Ohio State, Oregon's head coach are the top 3 right now, rocking out. Deion Sanders is sitting at 6 in this list. Best quarterback, Marshall Manning is holding on to it right now, coming off a bye. You still got Buck McClelland, Felix Talib, and Tim Whittington. Not for nothing, John Mateer over there at Oklahoma, and Keelan Russell is balling out for Alabama. So you still got those 6 battling it out right now. Best defensive player, Jake Cruel, Kevin Peli, Deion Dawsey, Paris Bullock, Miami's linebacker, Chad Spears, the 2 edge rushers. And then you're looking at the 2 edge rushers from Ohio State, Brad Radovich and Dante Speed. Defensive player of the year, fellas. Defensive back of the year, Darryl Mills jumps in front of Jet Washington when they come off their bye. Moses Irvin, Miami, 2 safeties are balling out there. Their slot demon is Juan Golston in the slot, right? This kid can play linebacker if they want him to. He's a monster. He do it off. He played their joker position for Miami, and usually whoever gets that joker tag is the guy in their secondary. Brandon Arrington leads all of college football with INTs. Teion Parks is right behind him, and that's your top 6 when it comes to best defensive backs right now. Best running back, Mason James. Now, Tanley and Durant is really trying to push the envelope a little bit, but when we go to these stats and let you see what's going on right now, I think Mason James has claimed that title, especially the rushing title. Like, he is light years in front of a lot of guys right now. About 4 weeks ago, it was a really good race. Best wide receiver right now, Taven Troop, C.J. Sadler Jr., and then Chad Lowell, right? Deion Thomas. Both these guys going up against each other this week. Sincere Brown for Colorado is number 5. And then your next user receiver is Howie Higgins for North Carolina. This race is right down a bucket right now. Lombardi Award, looks like Jake Cruel, Kevin Peli, Deion Dawsey, Chad Pierce, and then the 2 Ohio State kids, Radovich and Speed, with Buddha Israel rounding off the top 7. Senior quarterbacks, Marshall Manning, Buck McClelland, Felix Talib, Alec Lehan are your top 5. Mario Dove is down there as well at number 6. Best defensive end, Jake Cruel, Kevin Peli, Deion Dawsey, Chad Pierce, Radovich, and Speed. Top 6. Offensive lineman, Carlos Scales. North Carolina got one of the best offensive lines in the country, along with Nate Willies as well from Miami. They're one of, like, you could argue that might be number 1 and 2 offensive lines in the country. Tight ends, nobody's doing what Luis Cortez is doing. He's young doing it too at 6'6", 222 pounds. The true sophomore is playing really well. I think he got 17 touchdowns right now for the Oregon Ducks. It's something about the Oregon Ducks with their tight end position. They win this award every year. Jeremiah Garrison is trying to really step in the mix and say, not so fast, my friend Tyreek Biggers, Beller, Akeem Zappy, Miami, Matthew Henningsen, Notre Dame, and Jamie Callaway Tennessee with Oscar Aries as well, Zane D'Souza and Julian Parkinson, all users. Calvin Cummins, Notre Dame got 2 tight ends in the building. Brewers Award, James Rashid, Clayton Rhodes, new offensive coordinator for Colorado, Dylan Mendenhall, Ohio State, and JoJo Wood, defensive coordinator, along with Bennett Williamson, Oregon's OC, Ben Harmon, Miami's OC, Colorado's Greg Radovich, their defensive coordinator, along with Zach Ashby. Best linebackers, it's the U, right? You got guys like Ray Lewis, and you can name a whole bunch of big-time linebackers that went from the University of Miami to the NFL, and right now they got 5 of them that's playing like they out of their minds. Paris Bullock, James Guzman, Jamarcus Easton, Alex Quarterman, and Mike Ramsauer. Here's the thing, though, right? Comment if you're paying attention. Is those linebackers, are they that good, or is it the scheme? I'm asking Coach Falky here because I know he's watching. Is it the linebackers or is it the scheme? I know what I think. I think it's a mixture of both because there's a couple of linebackers up there, especially Easton, Guzman, and Bullock. Those guys are as advertised, but I think the scheme, Miami is they are, how do I call it? They're an attacking defense, right? But they apply pressure. Simple as that. Pressure bust pipe type defense. If you can get past that chaos when you snap the ball, then there's things to be had. But if you can't get past that chaos, they got guys at every level on their defense that make big time plays all the time. So I can't wait to see how that goes. Thank you for dinner. Braden DeMarco, Andy Catchamore II. Let's go to the whole 12. Siaki Iowa, Texas. Earl Sumner, he's been around forever. He's ready to go. Isaiah Williams starting for his first time this year. David Spillman and John Matabuke. Best center in the country, Carlos Scales. Like I said, you're going to see Alex Geese, Carlos Scales. You're going to see Miami and North Carolina. And then the return game. Ted Ginn III is looking like he want to take it from Taven Troop. Taven Troop has won it the last 3 years. And young Travis Hunter, along with Mason James and Quandre Folkert for TCU, are all in the mix right now. But I do think this award is going to be won by either Ted Ginn or Taven Troop, depending on what Travis Hunter can do in his last couple of games. Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is a wide receiver that's up and coming. He hasn't touched the football as a receiver this year because of what they have in their receiver room in front of him as a redshirt freshman. But in the return game, he's doing a really good job, especially as a punt returner. All right, nationally right now, quarterback play, 6,023 yards passing by Marshall Manning, Peyton Manning's son. Felix Salee, they came in at the same time, right? True seniors. And he 5,987 yards. Whittington came in, but he was redshirted. He didn't get to play his first year. 5,716 yards. And McClellan also was redshirted 2 years. He came in a year before Manning and Talib. But Talib and Manning are joint by hip right now, for sure. And you're looking at senior Alec Lehan as well with 4,059 yards. Keelan Russell, 3,923. And Mario Dove, 3,000. I don't know if I doubt it because we all eating right now, so I don't know if he is or not. When it comes down to touchdown passes, there's no one that's done it better than McClellan. He just shot out of the cannon with 81. A couple of weeks ago, he wasn't even at first place. He's been going crazy over the last few games. And not only do he have 81 touchdowns versus only 10 INTs, he has 80 completion percentage as well. Talib is sitting with 74 touchdowns, 24 picks at 64%. And Marshall Manning, 73 touchdowns, 7 INTs at 76%. Whittington, 62 and 13, 68%. And Lehan, 45, 14, 72% with Keon Russell with 14 INTs, 44 touchdowns at 70%. Chance Miller, 42 and 10, 71 over there at the Ohio State Buckeyes. Rushing. The carries are lined up as 294. Gregory Doyle for Stanford, 253. Toon with 213. Tanley with 212. But yards goes, the race is, this man is 742 yards in front of the next man right now. I don't know if, look, they're both doing a good job. Both of them averaging 9.5 yards a carry. But I think this race is over right now, right? We still got a lot of football left, as far as when it comes down to the record and rushing and all that. But like right now, Mason James has showed the world that not only is he durable, so is Tammy. Like, look, both of these guys with over 200 carries, and neither one of them have a fumble in a year, which is crazy to me. Like, that's just being consistent. Those guys can handle not only the workload, they're showing you that they're durable and that they don't fumble, that they're reliable. All right, so Dakota Toon with 1573, 7.4 and 21 rushing touchdowns. How about Trevor Cowley? A couple seasons ago, this man was the #1 athlete in the country. Not only that, he was the #1 recruit in the country. 13, 18, 6.5 and 11 touchdowns. Taylor Durant, 12-28, 7 yards to carry, 22 touchdowns. How about Deshaun Rado, Mr. Redman, 135 carries, 1,200, 8.9, 18 touchdowns. 109 yards a game with 2 fumbles in the year. A couple of fumbles, my boy. And the receiving game, Troop with 3,345 yards. He's been going crazy over the last couple of games. Bonkers. 32.5 yards to catch his man, average 304 yards a game with 45 touchdowns. Corey, 115, 2,779 yards, 24.2. 253 a game, 44 touchdowns. Lowell, 76, 2149, 28.3, 195 a game, 26 touchdowns. Deion Thomas, 84 catches, 18-20, 21.7 yards catch, 166 yards a game with 27 touchdowns. Sincere Brown, 1706. He on his way to 2,000, so it looked like Colorado where he popped 2,000-yard receivers. 22.7, 155 yards a game, 15 touchdowns, along with Howie Higgins for North Carolina, 68, 13, 69, 17 touchdowns. Stephen Childs, Florida. Zay Madu, 60 catches, 1281, 12 touchdowns. Mike Huey for Alabama, 1275, 75 catches, 13 touchdowns, 116 yards a game. Don't forget Jacquez Sandland, man, 43 catches, 1258, 30 yards a pop, 29-yard pop, 114, 18 touchdowns on the season. And then we have a tight end in Jeremiah Garrison with 87 catches, 1,176 yards, 6 touchdowns. Chris Bomley, second North Carolina receiver, 52, 13, 35, 17 touchdowns. Ted Ginn, the third, 11, 35, 16 touchdowns. Troop, Sadler, Thomas, Lowell, then Sandland, Cherry, Davis, Higgins, Bromley, Cortez, Ginn, and it's Sincere Brown. Newcomer, Euban Moss is going to have that team going crazy next year. The super freshman, the elite wide receiver at 6'6", 213. Let's see what's been going on with the national records right now. I'm going to stay right here at this national records, and we're looking at Felix Talib, 26,840 yards passing. Right now, he's winning the best. It's a race, right? So you're going to look at him and Marshall Manning. All right. Taven Troop, 11,695 yards. Javi Osborne, nobody's breaking that no time soon. Corey Sadler with the most receptions in the all time. Felix Talib, most passing touchdowns all time, 348. Corey Sadler Jr., most touchdowns, 163. Javi Osborne, 111. Elijah Rushing with 92 sacks. That's about to be beat, depending on what they did over there in the ACC. He 1 away for tying it, 2 away from beating it. Oh my God. You were fucking bonkers. Yeah, he threw for about 1,000 yards in 2 games. What the fuck, crazy? Oh my God. Oh, we got work to do. Shit. This motherfucker. I had a bye week though. Fuck. That's right. We had that week 13 bye. You motherfucker. Oh my God, this race is off the hook. I don't think this is a race anymore. I think I think Felix Salib said, I don't give a fuck. This is my record. 26,840 yards and counting. Yes, sir. I mean, I don't know if I could throw for 700 the next 2 games, but I think it's over with. I don't even think I will try to do that for the next 2 games, but that shit is over with. There was a race. Congratulations. Felix Talib will go down in the record books with the most passing yards in a career ever. That's nasty, man. Took down a record that was up there for a while with Achilles Smith Jr. Shout out to Coach Rand and that Miami University offense. All right, fellas, if the bracket was today and playoffs have started today, now but take in mind we do have conference championships that's going to take place. But right now you got at the bottom of the map, number 7 Notre Dame will take on number 10 Penn State. Now Penn State can move with a win against Oregon. They'll go into a chance to be able to play Ohio State in the the Big Ten championship game, which will give them opportunity to get a first round bye if they can win. So they win their next 2 games, they're gonna have a bye. Same thing with Notre Dame, right? Notre Dame is sitting at 7, and if they win their ball game against Tulane, they're gonna have to play Miami in the ACC championship. The winner out of that ball game will be in the quarterfinals, while the other one will still be in the playoff, in my opinion. North Carolina in the same boat, right? They won their game. They're looking for a win, and Notre Dame lost for them to get in and have a rematch against Miami in the ACC championship game for them to be able to get an opportunity for a bye. How about Tennessee, man? They got a rematch with Colorado if they win out. They beat Vanderbilt. They're going to be playing Colorado in the Big 12 championship in Arlington, Texas for the rematch. It was a good game early on in the first half of the season. I think like week 2 they played, and this was a good game for the first half. It got ugly with the turnovers while Colorado was on the road. In that ball game. All right, so Texas is sitting comfortable. It look like whoever they're the winner out of this, Alabama, Oklahoma, it looks like we'll go to it. Right now, I can't remember if Alabama has a shoe in right now, but Texas will be playing in the SEC championship, and they'll be waiting on either Alabama or Oklahoma, with Alabama having to head up over Oklahoma. Oregon will be taking on North Texas, number 12. Right now, and again, Oregon beat Penn State. Oregon plays Ohio State for the Big Ten championship and a bye round 1 of the playoffs. So playoffs is kind of shifty right now, man. Things is looking cute right now. Let's see how the things were won down the stretch. Let's go to Mr. Talib. Let's see what he's done over the last couple of games for him to really put himself, really separate himself when it comes down to the most passing yards in a career, right? He did a hell of a job separating himself down the stretch. Let's look at game by game what happened. All right, so against Auburn, user game, 141 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 INTs. 607 Virginia, 482 in the LSU game. North Carolina, 246 user game, 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. 501 against North Carolina State. Georgia Tech 698. 700 against Louisville. 672 against Florida. 621 against Duke. And down the stretch, this is how he did it. 8 touchdowns, 621, 630, 5 touchdowns, and then 689 versus Clemson, 7 touchdowns, 4 INTs. Colorado. All right, down the stretch. 642, 412. Tennessee user game, 326. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Colorado State, West Virginia, TCU 634. User game, Utah 434. Kansas State 518. 647, 626, and 640 and 664, all down the stretch. Coach Falcon and the Oregon Ducks said they Miami's running back and Oregon's running back was actually battling down the stretch for the best rushing yards this season. Coach Falk paid attention to that shit and said, "Oh hell no." Let's look at the season stats. Carries on a year. He hasn't had a game this season where he hasn't had 100 yards. That's really good. First game of the season, 101. 167, 177, 206, 210, 208, 148, 101, 278. This is where the stretch was coming where he was trying to win it. 278, 259, then Clemson 20. What's wrong? What's wrong?
No, nothing. I was going to ask you. Is the dinner done?
Of course. I'm quite sure it's your plate sitting right on the table in the kitchen. Grab a soda, baby, before you leave.
Damn, how can you stand in there?
They not right there. They right here.
That shit is cold. Thanks.
Yep. Now let's see what Mason James and this Oregon rushing attack done, and to be able to pull away the way they did. But they pulled away. All right, so he came out with a bang against the user. Alabama, 20 carries, 242 touchdowns. Oregon State, their rival game, 24, 271, 2 touchdowns. Nebraska, he gave them 30 carries, 269, 3 touchdowns. Michigan State, 33 carries for 165, 3 touchdowns. He come back against Purdue, 16 carries, 225. And then he hasn't seen a game under 200 yards from week 7. Indiana, 237. Week 10, Michigan, 251. 285 against Illinois. 295 against Maryland. 35 carries is the most he carried on the season. 28, 212, and 21, 302. He is hammering the ball down the stretch. I mean, you're looking at 21, 28, 35, 25, 30, 32, 16, 33, 30, 24, 20. They are giving her back the football and asking him to make plays at 9.4 yards a carry. And remember, all these carries are coming with not one fumble on the season. Not one. Not one fumble by this electric running back. For Mason James to wait his time, right? Because he had to wait not only as a true freshman, he was a blue chipper, right? This kid came out and probably could have went to a million teams in the country and been a starting running back by at least his sophomore year for sure. He would have got carries as a freshman. But that running back, you got Savion Hitter, and then you got Javi Osborne that he was sitting behind, waiting his turn. And then he gets his turn in 2031, and this is the outcome. This was the guy that they really, I mean, and not for nothing, when you're a good running back the way this kid was coming out of high school, and for him to sit, and once I told you, Oregon do a good job with their NIL, and they do a good job of keeping players around. think about what he's doing right now. With one season, he almost on his way to 3,000 yards rushing. Not just that. What happens if the kid decides to come back next year? I highly doubt it that he'll come back next year. But if he does, man. All right, let's look at the receiving battle between Miami receiver Tavon Troop. Let's show his game-by-game breakdown for his 3,345 yards. All right. Auburn come out 367. He still scored a touchdown. I don't think he missed the game without scoring. 9 for 290. He goes 12 for 204, 4 touchdowns against North Carolina, rival game. 8, 185, 3 touchdowns in that game. He went bonkers in that game as well. North Carolina State, 7 catches, 344, 5 touchdowns. He hasn't scored a touchdown under 4 since week 7. 7, 333, 5 touchdowns. 10, 388, 5 touchdowns. 10, 387, 4 touchdowns. 14, 397, 5 touchdowns. 11, 350, 4 touchdowns. Against Clemson, 12 catches, 400, 4 touchdowns. He went crazy down the stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 games over 300 yards. All right, 267, 269, 5 and 130, 8 to 11, 6, 330, 9, 144, 5 touchdowns against West Virginia, 10 catches, 197, 2 touchdowns against TCU. Utah, 14 catches, 268, 3 touchdowns. Kansas State, 13 for 292, 7 touchdowns. 13 for 303, 5 touchdowns. 12 for 8, 287, 5 touchdowns. And 14 for 348, 4 touchdowns against Kansas. 1, 2, 3 games over 300 yards this year. All right, so again, these 3 games that's going to be played this week is going to be important. The winners, if everybody win their game, it'll be a Notre Dame Miami ACC championship. When it comes down to Big 12, same thing here. 3 teams, all 3 win. It should be a Colorado Tennessee user game. Big 10, Oregon Ohio State, or Oregon Penn State, or Ohio State Oregon, or Ohio State Penn State. And then the SEC. Texas, Alabama, Oklahoma. With Alabama having a heads up over Oklahoma. They both win their games. It'll be an Alabama-Texas SEC championship game. The Heisman race. Tavon Troop is holding it down, coming off that 400-yard performance, 4 touchdowns. Mason coming off a 302-yard rushing performance, 4 touchdowns and a receiving touchdown. Jake Poole was on the bye, so was Corey Sadler Jr. And Kevin Pili had 10 tackles, 3 sacks. They were your top 5 in the Heisman race. So as y'all can see, it's very important down the stretch. We look at our college football playoff top 25. Miami sitting at number 1. They're going to be playing Boston College in Miami. Texas takes on Texas A&M at 10-1 at number 2. Colorado fell to number 3 after the bye week. They are at UCF, the bounce house. That's going to be a big game. Oregon and Penn State, that's going to be a nationally televised game. The Drive for 5 channel, tune in to Mike Smith, Coach Falk's channel when that game get played. Colorado is a national broadcast game. UCF, the Book of Manning. Miami is a national broadcast game. Boston College. And you got North Carolina taking on number 15 Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. Ohio State will be taking on Michigan, and Michigan All right, so Notre Dame at Tulane, number 7 in the country. Oklahoma at number 8. They dropped from 7 to 8. They got LSU though. Alabama's 9. Mississippi State at Mississippi State. Penn State taking on Oregon at number 10. Tennessee got Vanderbilt, number 11. Cincinnati 12. Georgia 13. They went from 16 to 13. They had Georgia Tech for their rival game, East Carolina. Pittsburgh 15. 16 North Texas. USC sitting at 17. TCU at 18. Charlotte 19. They dropped from 14 to 19. Texas Tech dropped from 17 to 20. And Florida State 21. They go up 3 spots. And then 22 to 25 is Rice, USF, Middle Tennessee, and Baylor. Very important down the stretch, man. We'll let y'all know when these games getting played and when the broadcasters will be up. With that being said, man, this is Ant Hits, the Dynasty Guru. We're down. Hit piece, bitch.